Hello, friends. We will see, as usual, our topic of interest, and we will talk about the existence of ghosts. It is said that we humans, while we are living here on Earth, establish many types of interconnection relationships with people. And although we relate, sometimes we do not choose those relationships well. So our future could be one of suffering or problems. Then the big question is, will there be ghosts in the world around us? There is one saying that says, you choose your friends well, and everything will be fine. How many doubts and heartbreaks would we have till the time wandering in this beloved land could have ended? This land that has seen us born and grown as soon as we get involved in our daily relationships. Sometimes there is no understanding, or there are disagreements in our human relationships. In order to advance the projects, we need to agree. And if there is no agreement because one of the two people does not care, because they have other interests, or because they do not care about anything, then everything is more difficult this way. In the event that the person fails to finish something they had to do and dies without achieving it, in the afterlife they have that very large slope where they haunt or wander like a ghost through the places of their interest. In case we have had a family reunion in which we were not favored or understood, so having had problems to solve, or the person wanted to change something of what he did in life. But someone may also have had a terminal illness or something bad happen, and they did not have time to complete or do their projects. Everything remains unfinished. It is said that when that person dies, he does not rest. He wanders around the places that he frequently visited in life, be it his home, work, or this person's favorite place. When they disincarnate, they try to communicate with someone who has the necessary perception to be contacted. Sometimes they appear in a house, and people say that that house has an enchantment. They say that the house is haunted. That is, there are ghosts that are apparitions of different forms, which manifest themselves, especially at night. But why at night? Because during the day, there is a lot of noise and light, and we cannot see or hear them. But at night, everything is quiet. No one moves or makes a noise until someone occasionally sees a silhouette gliding by, hear some strange noises, or see some things move. There are people who do believe in ghosts, while there are other people like scientists who try to find an explanation through science. For example, of the furniture in which we get used to, and we have the habit of resting, and that when one sits down, they support our weight, changing in some way their original shape. When one gets up from the chair, having the pressure from our body weight returns to its original shape, and sometimes makes a slight noise. In order for us to see something, we have to observe well and be attentive. Well, in this process of the evolution of noises, in this process like this, there may be small noises that if a person pays attention to these, he may be afraid and think that it is something supernatural. But nevertheless, it may just be the reversal of an action, and if we don't see anything. For that, we have to pay attention to the events of the day. But even if the noises are not anything supernatural, even if they are, we would not like to go there in the middle of the night, in the dark, to a place we do not know. Since someone tells us something, it is our turn to believe it or not. For all this, the echo is very important, which is the repetition of noises. On one occasion, we were in a cabin in a forest, and the people who lived there were always afraid of noises. They always told us strange things, stories, but since they told us these things, we were a little nervous. For example, one night we were sleeping, and suddenly I heard a strange noise, something being dragged. I said to myself, "What is that?" In order to know what it was about the overcoming of my fear as quickly as I could. I turned on the light in the room, and what I saw was a mouse dragging a plastic bag. And at the end of the day, I had been out of breath for a few moments and cold-blooded due to that noise and people's stories. I realized that it wasn't a ghost trying to scare me or asking me something. On another occasion, there were some children who were playing soccer, and they hit a wall many times with the ball. I realized that at night, the same noises and knocks could be heard, as well as a repetition. I thought it was the echo of the knocks given during the day. The forest is made up of a lot of vegetation and trees. The same thing happened when the dry leaves of the trees fell and hit the tiles of the roof of the house. At night, strangely, the same noises were heard, either because more leaves were falling, and since it was night and everything was silent, those noises could be heard. When the doors make noise and squeak when you open them, it may be that they just lack oil. And once these doors are oiled, the squeaking stops. This was easy, but in reality, there have been many situations in which scientists have studied and explained about this thing that we call supernatural. In small towns where life is not so hectic, there are stories of ghosts or some other supernatural presence giving fear to other people, that is, who are afraid of the unknown. This happens in abandoned houses or apparitions on lonely roads. There was also some legend that was told from parents to children, legends of people who in life had suffered an injustice and had an unfortunate end, an end which someone did something unfair to them, or they suffer irreparable harm, thus leaving the story that they were wandering there because they had no rest, having felt so offended for having suffered from a terminal illness, or someone did something against them, or they feel injustice. They wander in many places. There is no barriers that stop them. In life, there is something called intuition or perception. This is the correct and quick solution to a case, as well as a thought that crossed your head. This thought that reaches our brain very quickly is a form of solution for the case that is presented to us after this flash of thought that is given to us. This is very important. Human reasoning comes, and sometimes we do not listen to it. What the thought says, this tiny voice, which can be considered advice or solution, that is given to us. Many times we do not pay attention to this internal voice. Do you believe that this intuition or perception is a first level of development of the sixth sense? And so, my friends, we end this topic of interest. And what do you think about this? Have you heard of a story in which a paranormal or supernatural event where a ghost was told? And so we finish our story. I hope you liked it. See you for the next topic of interest. Take care of yourself. Thank you.